All right.
Again, yeah.
So, hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. This is the Guld Tech live stream. We're going to be discussing some topics. My name is Fernando Dreyfus, and we're here with Ira Miller, creator and maintainer of Guld. We have some questions for him today regarding personal ICOs and how can you create one. So thank you, Ira, for being here with us. And could you talk to us a little bit about what Guld is and what a Guld ledger, Guld token is?
Sure. Great to be here. Glad we got our audio issues worked out. So we're introducing a new concept today on Gold, our technology platform, a personal token and a personal ICO. So I'm going to do the first of these. On Monday is my 31st birthday, and I'm going to begin mining my personal coin on that day, and I'm going to put some of it up for sale in an ICO. This is a feature that we're adding to Gold. As we know, you reviewed the change to the price table.
That's right.
So our new price is 10 gold for anybody to be able to register this sort of personal token. Mine's a prototype, so unless you're doing experimental, this audio, yeah. This is our ghetto microphone. We're professionalizing these live streams every week and experimenting with different formats. This week we're trying to get some FaceTime, maybe answer some questions if you have any. So please do join the Hangout, I think is how they could ask.
So
Yeah.
in our Guld Telegram, t.me/Guld block tree, you will be able to find the link for this week's session. Come on in if you have joined the chat. We should have someone that is able to share it on our Twitch chat and as well on our Facebook chat. So if anyone is around and wants to join, if we have questions routed through Facebook, we should also be able to answer those in this stream. It's our pleasure to have you. So you mentioned a little something um, regarding this personal name coin and it being in the Guld ledger. Now there's a price for registration, as we know. Guld is a network that allows you to create your identity and reserve your namespace. And with these names, you can like transact and sign contracts, validate transactions as well, and um,
all these are types of Gold is a contracting engine,
mhm,
and you need a name to enter into a contract.
mhm.
And there are other things that you can register names for that will have a name. So, for instance, you can register a chain like Ethereum as a namespace, the Ethereum branch. And I'm not sure it's before or after the audio cut out, but you asked about other chains being
Yeah,
imported.
before.
Yeah, before. So I'll answer your previous question. I'll repeat it for the recording. What's the difference between a Gold native ledger and imported or synchronized Gold ledger, like Gold synchronizing Ethereum or an ERC20 token? And Gold uses PGP signatures in a Git tree for all of our data. So when we do a native token, that's the primary or only place that it exists. That's where the ISYSD token exists. It's signed by my key in my branch of the block tree. Ethereum, for instance, though, is a foreign chain that I think our foundation paid for registering that chain. That gets the Ethereum branch, and the official content of the Ethereum branch should be what is in the Ethereum blockchain by their consensus mechanisms. And we, the witnesses of the Ethereum branch, only sign the data from the tree. So we're saying I witnessed that the Ethereum blockchain had this transaction, this ERC20 contract, so on.
For the people that are maybe listening to these terms for the first time, we are introducing the term of a branch as well as with chains when we talk about the Guld. Um, there is the concept of a block tree, in which we have different areas of information being hosted with them. Could you talk to us maybe a little bit of the differences between a block tree and a blockchain?
Yeah, sure. So the you can think of this very graphically or with just the names. So a chain is a single linear series of entries. For instance, accounting entries, transactions, and a tree has branches. It spreads out, and each branch can grow separately. Our type of tree, the block tree, is something called a DAG, a directed acyclic graph. And this allows something which is not in a real live tree, which is the recombining of branches. So you can branch out, and then you can come to consensus again and recombine your branches at a later point in time.
Excellent.
That's just one of the differences, whereas a blockchain fork is usually permanent and creates two permanent separate branches that never again will connect.
Excellent. So in terms of being able to differentiate all of these branches, today we're talking about creating a whole new branch, creating a whole new ledger that allows you to manage your time in the future, manages to be able to place it in a token. Could you talk to us a little bit more about that? And maybe if we have some folks that are watching the stream right now, we could go also through the website, iramiller.com. We'll have the general information on this. It will have the ledger, specific contracting.
The actual contract. So we're still working on these, and we're accepting. We'll give out bounties in ISYSD coins for people that help over the next couple days. But some of the work that we're doing is on the contract for issuing the coin. What exactly am I promising? Which is my time out of my life. So I mine 24 ISYSDs every day as I'm alive. This comes out of my equity, which is to say I get older, and we can measure how old I am by how much equity I have in my personal token. And these 24 coins that I get every day, some of them I have obligations I have to spend on this or that, and some of them we're putting up for ICO. But 10% of those that are going up for ICO are going into a bounty program for all the people, friends and family and helpers. So, for instance, you yourself are in this ICO friends pool, and 10% of the funds that come in will be paid out to this pool. Anyone else who wants to help with, the contracts. So we have the contract to issue this, and then I have various redemption contracts where you can redeem an ISYSD for instance, a 30-minute call about your token or another topic. Or if you have an approved contract for 40 or more hours, then you can redeem it at 1-to-1 in general contracting terms. So we're working on the contracts for these. We've already got all the ledgers done and making the website really nice and fun.
And it's an excellent way. It's something very interesting to be able to, and we have someone that's joined the chat. If we could get in text form whatever question, you're more than welcome. We have seen how this the specific way of tokenizing time in the future. It has been spoken about by many different people. We actually have a redemption chart already up on the website. So if anyone who wants to invest or just buy the token, it would be directly a name token there on iramiller.com. You should be able to find the specific claim structure that we currently have. We have someone in the call, and let's see who this is.
It's a cool graphic.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll go down some of the other redemption contracts we're working on. This is all documents that are publicly available. The rules of the ledger are publicly available. I've already signed the basic rules and published them. They're linked on my website, iramiller.com. And the redemption rules include these 30-minute ICO calls, It includes for speaking time, so you could contract me with a certain number of coins to go make a speech, as well as technical advising and general coding, business development type services. Yeah. Is the screen shared? Cool. So yeah, let's go down. As I mentioned, 10% of the funds raised will go into our bounty program for helpers. 10% will also go to charity. All the charities will pick our U.S. official 501c3 charities. The first one, the official one that we're going to support is Unsung, which is hashtag Hacking Hunger, the sharing economy to redistribute existing abundance to those who need it most. This is basically a decentralized meal sharing platform. So 10% of the fund raised will go to Unsung or similar charities. But down here at the bottom, we have this redemption schedule of different contracts that are all legal peer-to-peer contracts signed on the Guld block tree. So each contract has terms, including a minimum purchase and a price. So the main redemption contract is a professional flex contract, which is redeemed at 1-to-1, but a minimum purchase of 40 hours. So you can think of this as a typical contracting work week. 40 hours is a typical work week, right? I have fun smaller contracts, like a 3-minute selfie contract. Maybe you meet me at a conference and want to take a selfie. I would charge actually 20-to-1 per unit of time, but you get 3 minutes for doing retries or whatever. I'm experimenting with some of these. Maybe not that many people want selfies with me, but we have other other people working on personal coins that are interested in these contracts that maybe we'll get more selfies and less phone calls.
Definitely the speech is one to look out for.
The speech, yeah. Maybe I'll get more speeches than selfies, right?
Yeah.
So you are the head of the Guld tech team.
That's right.
As you know, we have a special Guld advising contract that we worked out. And you guys bought a bulk of 500 hours of my time over the next year. I have a 30-minute call on one topic. The format of this is, which is defined in the contract, is 5 minutes at the beginning for me to just read your document or whatever. Then we get 25 minutes to discuss. Typically, it says one topic, but I think that usually people do this for an ICO or a coin. Read my white paper, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Don't be too mean, please. Again, for fun, I'm not sure how many people do this for me, but we wanted to prove the types of contract and to get the template out there. If you want to do the same call with me topless, it'll cost you 10 times as much.
It's a very, very interesting change. We have Rio in the call. Welcome, Rio. Thanks for being here.
Hey guys, how are you? No problem.
Hey, Rio. So Rio is also in the what do you call it? Friends, ICO friends. Yeah. So this is the contract on the website. One more thing about the website. That's it. How do we get back? If you click on the ledgers toggle at the top on the website, it will show the actual source code of these different contracts. So for example, I want to show these guys, Fernando and Rio, who are part of this ICO Friends team. This is what we call an automated transaction in our ledger. So every time there's an accounting line that matches ISYSD income ZIMI, then it registers a new account payable in ICO Friends for 0.1 of the total, or 10% of the total of the previous line. And then we have the same thing for the charity contract. So anytime, the way to read this is anytime an accounting entry for ISYSD income from ZIMI comes in, one of each of these entries corresponding entries will be made. We have other ledger source you can see here, the price and amount that's being sold in the ICO, the definition of the asset, with a valuation of 1 hour, base value of 1 hour of my time. So I can only, how do ISYSDs, how are they generated? Well, there's a daily budget or limit to how they can be generated. I can put 24 from my equity into my assets every day.
Yeah.
I can't do 25, that would exceed the budget, right?
Backed by time.
Exactly, backed by time. So again, you can turn these on the website by clicking the ledger toggle and understand the source code of how the personal token, what are the contracts for.
Mm-hmm. And how would a person contact you in case, like, in preparing for the next 3 days that we're gonna be
So that's a good question. On the website, there's all my contact links, email, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything. Additionally, on the Telegram chat for Guld, which is t.me/goldcoin.
Guld block tree.
Guld block tree, yeah. Sorry. We're chatting about this stuff. We're looking for lots of people in Guld to engage with us, and we have a number of grants that are available for lawyers and designers, technical people, marketers, even different firms. So if you have a law firm and you register, we have a grant for law firms per country, the first 5 law firms per country. So you can generally get Guld grants by participating, but in the next couple of days, you can also get ISYSD grants if you're a lawyer, marketer, any of these other professional contributors.
So basically, this is a very productive party planning committee for no party. We're working on making this more of a reality. There's a very collaborative sense to this. So
this is just so fun to me. I didn't want any presents. I don't want a party. I want an ICO for my birthday, and I've been wanting to do this for years. So I want to prove this concept so that Fernando can do his ICO next.
Yeah.
And we gotta write these initial contracts to see, do you want the selfie clause?
That's right.
Do you maybe you want to charge even more for the topless phone calls? I don't know.
Yeah, no. If I have to wear a wig to your meeting, I definitely have to charge more.
I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't put this in a redemption contract.
No, for sure.
There's meetings and there's meetings with wigs.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you want to pick the wig, it's a different price. But all of these different concepts of being able to tokenize, add a value, and claiming it, you have on your website a statement that this would turn you into a decentralized human. Would you like to?
The first decentralized human.
How would that work? Like, would you like to explain a little bit more and decentralizing the time and the process in which you're contracting with people?
Well, I'm mostly just having fun with the ICO concepts.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do an ICO, then have some fun. Marketing's the chief driver of ICOs anyway. So if people aren't having fun on your website, they're not gonna buy.
Yeah, no. There's definitely something to be said about having a broad pool of source material where to get for marketing your own personal ICO.
Yeah.
Like for every single person.
And that was another thing. So we're going with hashtag birthday ICO. And trying to experiment with some of the branding of if other people want to do personal ICOs in the future, is it a good idea to do it on your birthday? To tell your friends and family, don't get me a present, buy my ICO, or to give back to charities, and we're trying all the different clauses and marketing terms that we've thought about that might apply to personal ICOs.
Is there such a thing as an off-season ICO or an on-season ICO?
Oh, well, definitely. What's the season, though?
Yeah, maybe nomenclatures that would change depending. Oh, sorry. Nomenclatures that would change depending on the period, depending on the season. So yeah, we should.
Yeah.
We should see.
And we're really fascinated by the redemption clauses.
Yeah.
So we think that the idea of issuing a personal coin is pretty clear. My general philosophy on ICOs and token economics, if you buy an ISYSD, you can hear about this for your coin if you want some token economic advice. But it is to quantify and improve the quality of some particular data stream. And so if you talk about decentralize a person or tokenize a person, what do you mean? Well, you say, well, what is this person? Let's try to quantify this person. And even though time is subjective, that is the main experience that we have of ourselves, is of our consciousness, the events throughout our day, our time passing and being spent, and we can say that each of us gets a certain amount of time. How do you quantify your life? Or sorry, we got a
or your
phone in the background. Yeah, how do you quantify your life or your essence?
Yeah.
And it's been said time is money, or time is all we have. And I think that really you can quantify your life as the hours of your life, and you can quantify how much of that time you spend working or working for someone else, or how much of that time you give to yourself for your sleep and eating and health, exercise, how much you give to your family, how much you give to charity, and rather than treating this contract by contract, I'm going to sell 40 hours a week of my time to my employer, and I'm going to try to commit to myself, so I'm going to sleep 8 hours a night. If you just take it as a unit and you say I get 24 hours a day, and I'm going to do all my accounting based on that. I'm going to try to I'm going to sell so much of it. I'm going to try to reserve so much of it for myself, but I've got obligations to my friends, my family, and so on. And you can contract that. One of the things we've discussed is, as friends, you can make an equivalency contract, so that you have F-Dreyfus coin, I have ISYSD coin, and we make a contract that they are equivalent for up to 10 hours a month.
Right.
So what it's saying is that if we meet and we spend an hour together, you've given me one F-Dreyfus, I've given you one ISYSD,
right.
But we agree that they're equivalent values, so there's no balance of accounts. We leave, neither one of us owes each other anything.
Yeah.
And that's a friendship contract.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can quantify how much friendship we have put into each month.
Right. Yes.
And so far, I'm behind on my friendship payments.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And we witness and co-sign,
Absolutely.
the transfers. Right. Ideally, this would not be overbearing. It's not about trying to collect money from everyone that you have coffee with. But if you integrate this into your assistant and your calendar, for instance, then all you do is check in. You say, here I am having coffee, and no one's do anything, whatever, because of our existing friendship agreement. But I'm just accounting for my time, and when I go to sleep, I'll account for that, and I can see how much of my equity I've reinvested in myself, right? Or I can try to quantify my sleep deficit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe doctors would consume this information and say, I'm watching your daily expenditures, and you've only been spending 6 hours, 6 of your tokens a day on sleep, and I'm really concerned about this. Your deficit is building up.
Yeah.
You're acquiring 2 hours a day of sleep debt, right? You need to make a contract with me to commit to investing 2 more hours a day in sleep.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Wow. No, the ability to be able to objectify the unit of time, I think it's one of the biggest things about this industry, that to be able to map out the immaterial into a way that it's actionable, that is transactionable, that is a little bit more free, because it's not that this is not a thing that's already being done. Resources in terms of time already are managed, and it's something that you have monthly, yearly, weekly expectations on top of that.
But can you quantify it better?
Exactly, and can you do it as a single person? And do you have the tools for that? And do you have the advantages? Well, Guld provides that. So I think that we're happy that people are going to be able to hop on into this and create their own personal coins. For one, I'm excited for creating mine.
I am as well. And do you have any ideas about what kind of clauses you would like to have on yours?
For me, definitely for sure, something in terms of personalized songs is something that
songs.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
If I had to call you in the morning and wake you up with a little bit of a musical tune, that would definitely be something that I put there. If my face is going on your website, that has a price.
Oh, that's a good one. Sure.
If my social media is going to be tagging you, that has a price, and all these things
that's
are
a good
clearly
point.
mapped.
You can make a contract to redeem some of your tokens for something that's not necessarily an amount of time.
Yeah.
So putting your face on a website is not time that you spent on something, but you can charge one F Dreyfus for doing it, for instance.
Oh,
and it's as if you had worked an hour.
I would like for it to be driving people back and forth from the airport, because it's something that I will definitely do.
But you want to charge a
I
premium.
want to charge a premium for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a top tier service. I would definitely do something like that. But aside from that, in terms of administering work, if there's a project in which we believe in or something like that, I would gladly give away for redemption in terms of consultancy and
Right, and you can give away your hours.
Yeah, and I would definitely give away my hours. I believe highly in the charity clause. I would definitely have a carbon measurement,
carbon offset,
a carbon offset or carbon offset reduction clause of some sort.
Well, another thing we could account for, maybe as animals, we also need methane offsets.
Yeah. So if I have to drive to you for a meeting, that's a carbon offset. Like I will track how much fuel I had to move.
Oh, and then
me to move
charge
to you.
charge the other person against.
We can charge the other person. I can pay for that, but it's a way of being able to track it, of being able to be aware. And if at the end of the month, any company that wants to pay for my offset, we can talk to Shell, we can talk to Texaco, or any of these fuel companies if they want to pay off a little bit of the offset of the carbon that we've created. That could go off to offset initiatives. I think that we should be able to, from here until my birthday's in February, we should be able to sort something out by then.
You want to do a birthday ICO as well?
I definitely want to do a birthday ICO.
I feel like this is going to become a new trend.
Yeah.
Birthday ICOs.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. I'll ICO if I want to. And you ask for people to retweet you on your birthday or something like that. Hopefully, if they're any kind of friend, they're at least going to do that. And we all know that momentum and awareness marketing are the main drivers.
See, you might as well talk to Facebook and ask them to up their Facebook birthday notification.
But the thing is, they're going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So if you make a post and you say it's a birthday post, Facebook's going to put that at the top of other people's feeds.
That's
hey, did you know it's birthday?
That's interesting.
And here's his birthday post. We didn't even notice that it was about cryptocurrency.
Yeah. It's just all about his birthday, but they're crypto friendly now again.
Are they really crypto friendly?
They're giving the A-OK. Come on, you can advertise your coins. Come on, kids.
I mean, they must have been making so much money on coin advertising.
They were. They were, but they just had to do something. Yeah.
Should I do advertising for my birthday ICO?
For sure.
I feel like people are just gonna love the concept.
I think we should just have advertising packages for this, like ICO.
The birthday ICO package.
The birthday ICO package. We should be able to just input in, put in the token, smart contracts, create everything with the market, with the pushes, video, everything all at once.
I mean, particularly if you're not making custom redemption clauses, if you're using one of the standard clauses like the 3-minute selfie clause or the
mention on social media.
Mention social media, something like that.
Which are trackable and
you just set your price and you say, this is how much I'm going to charge for selfie, this is how much I'm going to charge for an Instagram post or a mention, or a base hour of work, and here's my picture, description of my coin, and boom, birthday ICO.
Birthday ICO. I think that this is the birth of a great idea. We're gonna be developing this. Is there a public repository where people can submit issues or?
There are a number. As you know, in Guld, we use Git for our tree, which creates lots of small repositories which are all interlinked into these branches. For instance, the ledger for my personal ledger, the ISYSD ledger, is available on a number of Git hosts, but it's in ledger ISYSD, ledger-ISYSD. So if you go, for instance, to github.com/ISYSD/ledger-ISYSD, you'll see my personal ledger. The website is hosted in a different location because it's a different branch of the tree. But we'll share all of these on Telegram. The links I believe should all be available on hyperlinked on my website. So let's see, it's the ledger, the website, and contracts. So there's also various contracts. These are human language contracts that are using an arbitration clause as the primary jurisdiction. The arbitrator is our law firm here in Panama. We're in Panama. It's a very good law firm that has been doing crypto for years. We pay them in crypto. They're DenFab, as the partners, De La Guardia, Newman, Fabrega, yeah, and denfablaw.com is their website. If you're looking for a good crypto lawyer, accept Bitcoin, these guys are amazing. But yeah, those are the main three components. There's the public website and presentation with the payment channel, calendar for redeeming coins and scheduling meetings or whatever. The actual ledger, the token, people making transactions, and the contracts that define the types of transactions that are available, issuing transaction, redemption transaction, and so on.
So the redemption process, what gives the utility to the token.
That's the backing, yeah.
It's the backing on actually being able to utilize all of these structures that are now available to us.
Yeah.
And these are going to be great ways for people to not only be able to organize their time, but to be able to sense demand of maybe things that they weren't aware on their own identities. So I'm excited to see what comes out of all of this.
Yeah, I am as well, and I think that particularly the kind of personal insight of economics will be very enlightening. And I might find, for instance, that there's a huge demand for these 30-minute calls, and that if I just do 30-minute ICO calls with people, then I will finish all my work and receive my target pay or whatever very, very quickly, according to the multiplier that I had set. Maybe you find that everyone wants to do meetings where you're in a wig. Yeah. Right? And you can just get your work done twice as fast by just going about your day with a wig. Yeah. And you never know until you make the contract and the offer and see what the market wants. Yeah. And we should all have market feedback on our services and skills. And it's a liberating process for your skills. Absolutely. Yeah. To be able to put them up in a chart, regardless of the place. There's something to be said that you can point everything just to a single website. Your personal website. Your personal website with your personal coin, where you can redeem your personal coin, interact with that person's schedule or AI. Yeah. No. You can absolutely, before an interaction is even started, make someone's time worth it. Right. One of the fun contracts that we've been discussing is what would you do for $1 million, right? So one of my goals, I'm issuing 2 tranches of my ICO, one at 1,000 ISYSDs at $250, and another 1,000 at $1,000. One of my main reasons for doing this is to have at least $1 million in circulation, so that I could make a contract of what I would do for $1 million. Yes. Right. I mean, and everyone should know what they're able to do for $1 million. And we were joking. Friends often joke about this. I do this for $1 million, or would you do that for $1 million? Yeah. And next time your friend says that he would do something for $1 million, you can write the contract and say, put your money where your mouth is, sign this. And if someone on the internet is going to pay it to you, that's a contract. You better, as long as there's demand, go chug a bottle of hot sauce or whatever you said you were going to do. It's an actually enforceable contract. It's an actually enforceable contract. But both ways, so you will be able to get paid through it. You will be able to get paid $1 million at the end, right? Yeah. So that's the question. I don't have a very good example at the moment of what I would charge $1 million for. But I think that's a really fun contract that I think so too. Everybody would want to do. I'm terrified of asking the internet what they would think. What we should do for $1 million. Something tells me that they'd have really good ideas. But for sure, that's the kind of thing that we'd be open to have people comment out what they would be willing to do, or contribute an actual contract if you want. Yeah. We can provide the templates and standards that we have for contracts. Basically, your contract just has to be in English with variables parameterized. So space, variable name for party 1, party 2, so on. And it has to have an arbitration clause. And it has to let the parties define public keys. And that's it. That's all you need to make a peer-to-peer contract that will work with Guld. If you contribute any sort of contract of note, we'll give you a Guld grant for doing this, including if you submit a contract for what you would do for $1 million.
Yeah. And yeah.
We're very curious to hear your.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
What you're willing to do grants. Those are the ones that are happening.
Smart contracts.
Smart contract grants.
Smart contract for what you're willing to do for $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the $1 million. The contract of what you would be willing to do.
Well, if someone deposits $1 million into the contract, then it is the $1 million contract, right?
Yeah, for sure. We
should put a bounty out for the first $1 million time contract that is actually executed. So people can submit their ideas for what they would do or what they want someone to do for $1 million.
That is a very interesting rebate.
But the first time that it's actually exercised, that someone convinces someone to pay them $1 million for less than a day's work,
that would prove store and transfer of value, and
be a really one of the most interesting use cases that's possible out of a personal token is then proof. Right?
Yeah. $1 million personal token ICO.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, if anyone out there wants to be part of history, we got the personal ICO already.
Rio, you've been listening. Do you have any ideas for these your personal coin or redemptions?
I've actually been thinking about it in the back of my head throughout the entire conversation. I haven't really thought of anything specific yet. I mean, obviously, I do a lot of website services and stuff, so I can figure out the way to properly quantify my time that way. I just do so many different things that I'm trying to think of one thing that I would prefer to place time to.
Well, you don't have to pick one thing. I mean, the whole idea of multiple redemption contracts is setting different prices and terms for different types of work.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, actually.
You can tier your whole life.
And you could, for instance, you could have packages that are not based on time. So you could say, if you're having me work on a website, I'll charge you 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 hours. Or if you just want this package, the blanket price is 10 Rios.
Right. Yeah, actually, that makes good sense. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that can be done with it. I really like the idea. It's very unique. Great concept.
I think it's something that's.
Go ahead.
I think that's something that's great for freelancers as well, just for people that can plan out their time, set out and see their value. It's a little bit of peeking through the fourth dimension on yourself. It's a weird feeling.
Exactly. I was just about to say something similar. I think especially with contract-based employees or freelance workers, it's an excellent way for them to be able to, put their own value in their hands.
And maximize it.
Well, this is what I'm willing to pay you. No, this is what I'm worth. This is what you are going to pay me if you want this work done the way that I do it. And I think that's, it's giving a person the opportunity to, take their time into their own hands and their finances in the same spectrum, by building an ICO out of their time. So, yeah, I think it's a really brilliantly unique concept, and it can be applied to so many different facets of freelancing, especially, and so many other things in general. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of got my brain rolling on like all the different use cases I can have for it. I've just been thinking about all sorts of different stuff I can do with it. And then I think the thing I like the most about it is that a lot of us, throughout our lives and the work that we do, we tend to base our value off of what other people are willing to pay us for what we do. And philosophically, for me, I think that's a really damaging thing for a person to do to themselves. They're not really giving themselves an opportunity to appreciate what they can contribute. They're allowing other people to determine the value of what they can contribute, which is, of course, how society works, but it shouldn't be. Now we have an opportunity with something that came up out of a really constructed birthday ICO idea to, take something that is causing a lot of people a lack of self-worth or just help their self-esteem a little bit so that they can say, oh, you know what, I'm really, really good at this, so I'm going to charge this much, and if the person isn't willing to pay, then oh well, I'm not going to do it.
Or to provide options. And I think one of the biggest things that freelancers are going to learn from this is if you provide different packages and make them really automated and easy to redeem, you're going to get feedback on your services, and which services or packages are more in demand in a very detailed, well-recorded way. And the more options you can give your customers, the more good information you're going to get back. And I really want to encourage people to think not just about their base, work contract, but all the personal time that they spend, about these one-to-one friend contracts, and about your obligations to yourself and to your health and things like that. I feel like when you really implement this, there's going to be a lot of different interesting cases.
It's like having a budget for your own time. It's like the first time you make a budget and you realize like where you're putting things, realizing where you're putting your time and efforts through something that has a structure, that has a redemption mechanism, a combination of the value that you're providing and the feedback that you get of your added value on a
and you can quantify how much time you're giving to your friends or how much time you're giving to charity. And you talk about what is this generation? They do they brag about their social influence, clout or whatever. Yeah. So I proved I gave 12.5% of my time to charity last year. You only gave 11%. You can brag about it and like record these data. I'm a better friend than you. I'm gonna prove it. Right.
Also, if you have a meeting with Drake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's all the time that I gave to you over the last few years. I gave you 10 hours a week, and
it makes time with your friends a collectible item as well.
It is, yeah. That's collectible. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Concept. So this is kind of taking the relativity out of time, now applying it to a ledger-based system where you can have it all recorded permanently and easily accessible.
And
so I think it's a really awesome idea.
And witness, basically notarized.
Yeah.
Why do people put documents on a blockchain or this or that on the blockchain? Because they want third-party witnesses, which also allow for automatic execution. So if we agreed that we were going to meet, and the cost of the meeting was going to be this, we both checked into the meeting. But Cindy, we're filming. Sorry.
Say hello to the world.
Hi.
We're live.
Especially, I think that would be very helpful. I'm sure anyone here is familiar with Panama meetings time in general. Has experienced a situation where they showed up to a meeting on time and everyone else is not there, or
you can make a clause where they owe you for the waiting time. You're gonna show up a meeting to me. That's fine. I'm giving you 1 hour, but every minute that you're late,
It's calculated based off that hour.
Yeah.
So once they arrive, well, sorry, you only have 13 minutes left.
Right.
Or you can refill.
Absolutely, and it also gives the person meeting with you more incentive to be on time. In general, people should be on time anyways. But it's they can have so many different uses. Really, I think infinite is the right word for it. I can't see any sort of particular thing. Even stuff as odd as like using the restroom on a daily basis. You can figure out whatever amount of time you use the restroom and quantify that. It's just there's endless options.
And then you can make derivatives. Maybe there are lots of personal coins, and everyone's recording their bathroom time, and then someone makes a real shit coin that's mined every time anyone takes a shit. Well, we got some background noise here, and I think we've discussed a lot of the topic.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a good time to close up.
Thanks for everyone who joined us today. We'll have more information on our Telegram group as always, and we'll see you next week for another Tech Talk on Guld. Thank you very much, guys.
And go to iramiller.com for now to get information if you want to take part in the bounty program, help us with contracts, design, anything. And on Monday, go there for my birthday ICO.
Get some ISYSD.
Get some ISYSD, exactly.